we're going to do Serena's constellation. Then we'll be towards the end of the day and we'll probably do our final debrief together. Sound like a plan, Stan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this little exercise, it was actually connected with a larger thing that we are not, oh, I'm sorry. Are you ready?
Yes.
Everybody? Okay. That we are not doing. I don't know if we'll get to. Feel free to do it with each other, partners, whatever. But the idea was that,
Thank you.
but it's just not going to work this residency, which is that the idea was that you were going to get into twos and kind of interview each other on your, at this stage of the process, your major family patterns and traumas and issues you want to resolve, so that you sort of have it in mind going forward, like this is what I'm working on. And at the bottom it says, what are the main 2 to 3 desired outcomes for yourself or about your life today that are at the center of your heart for now? And then what I put in here, and it's easier for me to just say it, I want at least one of those have to do in a sense with your facilitating or work or something like that. Right? Because I really want you to be thinking in terms of your own personal shite. Yeah?
Yeah.
And your capacities as a facilitator. And the reason for that is that it's your blind spots that are going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
It's to the degree that you bring, focus to your own healing process, one of the things, amongst many things, that would help you be a better facilitator. It's just not that rare to see a facilitator out there kind of doing their crap on people, They're unresolved father stuff, they're unresolved sexual stuff, they're unresolved whatever, and then those blind spots showing up in how they facilitate. Now, no one here is ever going to be perfect with that. You're always going to have blind spots. That's okay. You're still fine. You can still facilitate. But, we want to be works in progress. So this would be this was what you would fill out with each other. You can do this on your own. You can interview with each other. It's just a series of questions, very conscious level. But we were going to end it with an exercise, which is what we are going to do now. This is something I also get from William Mantle. It's interesting. I get a lot of really good ideas from Bill Mantle in Connecticut. I don't personally like him very much. But that's a really good learning. You don't have to like someone, right? You don't have to like all they do. You don't have to do it their way. And they may still have really good things worth watching and learning from. And this is very much the case here. And so these are dyads. We'll do them in dyads and twos. And it's like classic Bill Mantle work.
Did we write down his name?
I did, but I'll do it again.
Yeah. Is it in there already? Did I write it?
I referred to him with respect to what? What was it we did? I can't remember. We did something else. I don't remember. So his name is William Mantle. He hasn't written a book or anything like that, but he gets around. He's Mr. Popular right now, so he's getting hired by a lot of people to do his show. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so it's you and your heart. That's it. So you are self, representing self, and your heart. About 5 minutes each. Switch roles. That's it.
So we're just doing a constellation in your heart. We don't have to understand it.
Oh,
At the moment.
okay.
What's there to understand?
I mean, we don't have to. Yeah. We don't have to know what the shit is. We're just gonna have the heart.
Yeah, forget about everything I set up and before presenting this exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Just do a constellation on you and your heart and notice what arises.
Regarding to this question.
No, ignore the sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ready.
I want to work with Serena.
Hey.
So, yeah. I'm trying to break up the.
I was thinking
Oh, sorry, I interrupted something here.
What?
You guys were gonna work together?
We're not a number now.
Yeah.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we've only got 6.
Never mind, you guys carry on.
Okay.
Well,
I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, right, together.
Yes.
Is this good?
No.
No, okay.
Will you be my heart?
Do you want to?
No, no,
yourself?
Do we need to make art? Wait.
Okay.
This?
Should I be myself?
So,
I'm
you
still
two
mixed
are
up.
working together? You two are working together? You two are working together?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
someone
one of us
goes
here,
first,
you're
and
right.
says, you are my heart,
Okay.
and then you pour it out, see how
Okay.
that goes. You might want to just move over just a
Yeah.
little bit so you guys aren't necessarily right in the middle of theirs.
Yeah.
Okay.
My apologies for not having done that very clearly. It's the end of the 4th day.
Okay, so,
Yes,
are we
with pleasure.
reporting to each other just what we feel? As we feel it?
I think maybe I'll go first because I'm named.
Yeah.
Thank you. You are representing. The overall meaning.
The meeting goes first. Do whatever we want. I kind of want you to
I'm positive my heart has a really big place in my awareness right now, so.
Oh.
Did you
Do
mean
you
mine
want to
is
say
my heart?
mine as you?
Okay.
Yeah. Or you want me to say as you?
Oh, that just struck me. I feel like for a lot of my life, I've been wanting me, mine is my heart. Like,
And my friends, I want you to just listen for 1 second. I do want you to have this as a 2 representative system. So it's not just the heart having their experience
Right.
all by themselves, but the heart looking at you and also responding to you and you responding to your heart. In addition to having your own experience as the heart. Okay? This is a 2-thing system.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. You and your heart.
Sending me awareness. Heart. That I have lived a lot of my life carving
I feel very contained, but actually in a more safe, kind of like I've been like shielding, and I feel ache. I feel like there's a little ache, like not like sharp pain, just like soreness.
I wouldn't know life without you. I am.
I'm surprised you don't hurt worse.
My first
Actually,
reaction is
I
it's the other way
feel
around. Maybe you're
strong. I feel strong.
probably looking at you.
Like I don't feel weak in any way. I feel like kind of almost like expectant, waiting.
Can I?
Just remember also to report what's it like to see Grace.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, what's it like to be in a relationship with Grace?
A lot of my Kelly thoughts are coming in, and it actually just feels so natural. I think I'm not feeling all that. I'm just feeling
And the
like
heart wants to say,
we're here.
you're gonna get hurt, get over it.
You know, like, I feel like we're almost
okay.
mirroring each other, and it's just calm. I don't feel like a lot in either direction.
I think this is so funny. When I started with all this like painful feeling of like, I've always like put my heart over there because it hurts so much.
Yeah.
And now my heart's telling me like, I don't know.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. I
just have this like, what if my heart is the calm center? But I've been thinking like, in order to keep a calm center, I have to put it over there.
That's me, you hear me?
So just remember,
I feel like
folks,
that's
one more interruption. Just those of you who are representing yourself, remember to represent yourself, Try not to think too much about the experience you're having. What's it like to stand across from your heart? Yeah. Yeah. And to hear what you're hearing.
It's funny
Yeah.
to hear what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
It's surprising. It's easy. Because I'm realizing maybe I had it backwards or maybe I was wrong.
And you have another minute for this round.
Which is good.
Yeah. I feel sorry from far.
Mm.
I feel like I'm fine.
I feel we're
It's coming through every time.
I actually feel, I started sad, now I feel amused
No,
because I
it's whatever it
realized
is.
I thought you were far from me, but now I realize.
I really feel like I'm pretty much right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't feel far from you at all. I feel very much like within the sphere. I just feel like, and even that's kind of going away actually, like this. Like I've got more room to stretch out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Start to wrap this one up.
Oh, that's nice.
Today's lucky day.
Today's your lucky day. Today's your lucky day. Yeah, we're on. I feel like we can work together. We're a good team.
Yeah.
And bring this first one to a close.
Or maybe if we have it hasn't been acknowledged. I mean, or it's just you. It's been like
I hope it's just you.
Yeah.
Partner. Nice. Very cool. Oh wow.
And switch roles.
Yeah, let's switch
And
places.
same thing. Would you please be my partner? And then be in relationship. Both of you are in a role. What's it like to be with each other?
I don't want to look at you. Right. Oh, I'm actually antsy and nervous and like.
I'm proud of you.
Am I scared?
It's fear of you. I don't know, fear.
I'm hesitant, I think.
Reflect to me.
Just feeling kind of anxious.
I feel this sort of aching, like it feels like something goes in there that isn't there, like a hunger to have something there that isn't there, like an absence. But I also see this picture inside out of like me enveloping you instead of you enveloping me.
Oh.
I'm not inside you, you're inside me.
That's interesting. Like you're feeling empty inside, but I'm there.
Well, my initial, when I first stepped in the role, I felt this like there's this empty spot. But then as I connected with you more, I realized, no, that's what goes in there.
Okay, yeah.
I still feel it. It comes back really easily.
Yeah.
So like, how does that change your experience?
I'm a little worried of being a burden on the heart. If that makes any sense. I mean, it's like,
It's actually, that made me a little scared because it's actually a relief. You're what belongs in there. And it's a relief if I can have you in there.
That's a lot. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of feeling there. I'm not sure how I can handle it, or if I want, maybe if I actually want to handle it. I'm not sure I want to handle it or feel it. Maybe. Yeah. It's kind of what that's what that feels like. But I also literally am feeling like this ache and like that like dark hole Like,
Yeah,
like a black space.
I didn't know it was there.
And I'm sorry, yeah, no,
Relax.
I wish I was not causing us that pain.
See if I can
I
stand
wish I
up.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like you're
I
probably
like
that's
it
like
better
waiting
when
for
you
you
don't
to come down to where I
As a heart?
want to come up to where
I don't
you
have
are.
anything that complicated going on.
Either.
It's just super simple.
Yeah, yeah. That's too simple, that's a trick.
It's just like, that's simple.
All I gotta do is sit in there. That sounds straight away too.
It is, right?
I'm gonna invite him. Can you stand behind?
I'm sure I know how to do that, but I'm not aware of the name right now.
What happens, Kelly?
I don't wanna be there. I don't want it touching me.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Like, I automatically got sad and just like, I needed to like, back from it. And now I'm kind of missing it.
Then go back. That's actually an excellent feedback loop.
Just touching them.
You can do it whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can always move away,
Yes.
and then you can go back.
And
And if there's a touch you prefer,
Do I do that to you too?
Something.
Is it? What kind of things do I order you to do?
Just stay away.
another minute or two.
Just stay away.
Stay in the cage.
Maybe we could hold hands and get to know each other a little bit. Just a little.
This cage is silent. But whatever you want to do, it's fine. What's wrong?
I want to see more.
You want to see more?
How is that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Something still seems off, but better than it was before.
I feel like
I kind of wanna hug her, but I feel also like I overwhelmed too in some ways. I don't quite know.
Yeah, the face-to-face was being, the reason why I was playing with it is the face-to-face was being coded by your body as confrontation. So I was just trying, this is actually better than the behind you because it's peer.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel too big, too small, too whatever. And the nice thing about this is that you're facing in the same direction, which has a nice feeling.
yes.
Now I feel like I want to protect it. Like I want to put an arm around it and
Just feel free.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
We will be with them.
yeah.
We'll be
I
here.
want you to take care of me as a kid.
Can you say that again? So I get it.
And you'll start to wrap
I
this
want
up.
you to take care of me as a kid, like being.
How's that feel, Kelly?
But also-
Hold it for another beat or two.
You to
Yeah.
let
Like,
me
I don't
know.
know.
You don't have to rush out.
So it's not taking
But how does that feel?
Just a little bit.
How's your fight flight going?
more comforting. Yeah, I don't feel the need to run away.
When I thought the awareness I have.
Yeah, this
to
feels more
Mhm.
comfortable.
find a way
So just say to your heart, for now I need to feel bigger than you.
For now, I need to feel bigger than you,
And that's safe for you.
and that is safe for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
How's that?
I love its grace too. There's something about grace.
No.
Thank you.
No.
So Kelly, I'll just invite you to hang out with the meaning of I'm too big.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah?
Now
Like it's a problem that I'm too big. And the field manifested a representative of your art who was actually smaller than you.
Yeah.
Grace is a little petite.
Yeah.
And so you're in the space of all those meanings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, be kind because
Okay, come on back, guys.
Oh, thank you.
So again, this is just another example of the kind of, for the 30-minute or less exercises I'm asking you to do. This could be another example of it. Okay, so I'm giving you different examples of these kinds of things. Little dyads, little triads. Now that we're 6, we can do triads very well. Or whole group, you've just now seen a few different ones, okay? Anna, how are you doing, having settled your lunch and whatnot after your Constellation? How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Are you?
Yes.
Good. Good. Okay. So, all right, if we just do a little bit of debrief on that, little bit of, yeah? Okay. Okay. Everyone, what did you do?
I burped really big.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, next time I'll take my hands away.
So go back in time to Anna's Constellation. Okay. Remember father, uncle, husband, people in the war, yeah. What were the main orders of love?
You honored reality.
Honor what is, absolutely. That's, yeah.
Belonging.
Belonging.
To those groups.
Right, so not only family belonging rules, but other kinds of belonging that impact the family. Like there's nothing we can do around those other belongings that the family just has to honor.
And
Right?
balancing giving and taking.
Balancing of we had a little bit of indebtedness and how to, balancing of giving and taking. Yeah. Good, okay. And the bringing them into order, seeing what is, acknowledging the belongings, acknowledging the debt that really can't be repaid, promising to live a good life is the lucky one, right? Right? That's really important. Okay, where were the main shifts? 2 or 3 of the shifts when we did something and something seemed to get better.
I think when the brothers went from I have to protect you and I just want to not, it was when they turned and when the younger brother was acknowledging what the older brother had done and what the older brother had done. That felt like something.
And do you remember what made that happen? Because there was a move before that.
He vowed to it.
He vowed to this. It was acknowledging that made the change in the relationship between the brothers possible. Come into better order. Yes, excellent. What's another shift and how we got
Near
there?
at the end, honoring the parents, having husband see the parents.
Yep.
And uncle and
Right. And we had a little hiccup towards the end, right when we were like, oh, it's all going so well and we're almost done. And then there's this little, and there needed to be a clear acknowledgement of the husband of Anna's father. And then it all went okay again.
Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing is that I know my dad tells me that he really likes him, but it was just really important to hear that in the Constellation for me.
Yeah. It's like life, It's not enough for someone to know someone loves you. You need to hear it once in a while. Some things need to be said anyway, even though you know it. Right? Okay. Memorable healing sentences.
the honoring of each fate of the 2 brothers.
Right. So the classic sentence is, I honor the dignity of your fate. We didn't use precisely that language, and also of these, but there were a few variations on that.
And him honoring his own fate.
Yes, that's really.
That was really great because I felt really like getting
Change the anger.
Yeah.
That made a big difference in myself.
What else? And one more. Just because if you find one or two in a constellation where you're like, oh, that one, then you might scribble it somewhere or just remember it, because then you'll start to add up to your list of them that you have handy.
When I was back representing the ones who fought, and when I was talking to Anna, just saying like, yeah, like give it to the children, like pay it forward, kind of a thing. That was super.
Yeah. In honor of me, you can't pay it back to me.
Yeah.
Pay it forward to the children. Yeah. And I made up that language in the moment. That's not a classic, but
it was
That's
really good. So
important.
what was the
Yeah.
sentence?
because what I was saying before, remember in the balance of giving and taking, sometimes they're like between partners, they're in the moment, or between brothers, they're in the moment, and others are more, cycle of life balances. So with parents and children, parents give, children take. But in the same thing, sort of historically, those who die in wars to protect the ones later on, you can't pay it back.
Right.
So the only way to pay it back is to pay it towards the children, right? So it was something like, I don't know, I made something up, but like, you cannot pay the debt, pay it forward to the children. Yeah. Sometimes I include things like, given the nightmare that World War II was, and the complete waste it was, something like by committing to peace, or something like that. By making peace. Yeah.
And I'm just understanding, so maybe I'm just
That's right.
reflecting. So it's such a movement towards life,
Right.
because the guilt is so arresting and just makes more misunderstanding, and that you don't, trying to repay a debt of guilt dishonors
Exactly.
and takes away from the life that you need to be attending to and supporting.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's thank you for my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something with it now.
Okay.
And the answers say, well, finally. Geez Louise, it's the only reason why we gave it to you. You just do something with it.
Would you actually say, I'm going to do something with it?
I might, the way I often will nuance this language is something like, in honor of you and of what you are suffered, I will, and then some specific reference to the type of suffering. So war, peace, unhappiness in work I can love, unhappy marital relationships, well in love, in honor, not as a debt to pay, but in honor.
And also not as a sacrifice.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, main entanglement. I sort of named it right at the end.
Loyalty.
The husband was tied up with the uncle.
Yeah. And actually, let's be really clean. Chris is not tied up with anything, right? It's some meaning in Anna that she sees this in her husband. Yeah. And he willingly participates because he loves her.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I love the way a teacher once put it. So we have our own adaptations, either ancestral or personal, to what we might call them safety patterning or loyalty patterns. And we see that one right across the room. One enchanted evening, right? We're in it, right?
I see a stranger.
Right? And what it is I love you enough to provide you with the threat to which you have been adapted. And then later that becomes the stuff that couples fight over. Why are you being late all the time? Why are you, whatever the things that they are, but you're actually providing each other with the life threat or difficulty or challenge or loyalty pattern that you're adapted to. And so the question is, in relationships, if there's enough kind of adult love in it, then you both go, this is a bummer of a contract, right? This is a bummer. I'd like to grow. And in a healthy relationship, you kind of do this, right? And you're never 100% on the same plane. Someone says, I'm not interested in that old contract, that threat we decided to provide for each other. And the other one's feeling abandoned or rejected or whatever, right? You're like some self-recognition going on.
You don't love me.
Yeah. and of course the relationship can't tolerate this.
Right.
You know, one person going really into their wholeness because there was an agreement, an unconscious agreement when they hooked up.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the only way to do it is this. The options are then, if someone does this and this one doesn't do this, do they just keep doing this and then the relationship's going to end, or do they flip back? Right? Which is very often what we end up doing. It's like, oh, the pull to this is too strong. And then they'll stay in their thing, their mutual blame or their mutual resentment or the thing they got going, right? And they'll continue to do it. Or will they sort of do this? Yeah. But what it does is it gives us a place to really appreciate not only our partners, but when we're working with couples, the love behind the providing of these safety threats, right? I love you so much, I will provide you with a threat to which you are adapted. And you'll say, oh my God, you really do love me. Oh, right? Let's get married and have babies right now. Right? You know, and then 10 years later, you're like, right? Yeah. Okay. So it's not that Chris is literally entangled with this. It's that Anna or any partner see it in their partner and then he cooperates. Right? And then we are going to assume a sort of a tab A and a slot B, that he brings his own stuff that was a perfect fit for her stuff. Right? Right? But again, if this sounds too dark, I really don't mean it to be too dark. There's also a genuine love here where you actually want to keep growing to other levels, right? Okay.
Yeah, and
Please.
for me it's just simply because I really see how much it triggered me like 10 years ago.
Right.
But it was still a feeling that comes up.
Right,
sometimes,
right,
and
right.
it takes in the energy away.
Right.
Yeah.
So every time you feel that come up,
Yeah.
in your mind's eye, bow to these,
Mm-hmm.
and then see what happens. And the best outcome is if tomorrow you're like, you just notice, oh my God, I'm just not triggerable anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not triggering me.
I
Which is awesome.
also like the thing to see and like to put on the different blanket, not the pushing
the
down,
comfort blanket.
sondern the
There's one point you didn't hear it, but I turned to Anna because we'd already identified the feeling of that had been going on here. But there was a point where the older brother kind of put his arm, and I went, "Oh, it's a different blanket. It's a different kind of blanket." Yeah, nice. Okay, and then field information that arose that wasn't straight out of the constellation.
the turning around, not be able to turn around.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
The blanketing.
Yeah,
kind of being-
both the negative one and the positive one. I mean, we knew that from the interview,
Yeah.
but that was so reinforced in the body language. Yeah.
The importance of both sets of parents
Right.
to the strong connection.
And that was probably me putting in someone for Chris as well. But yeah, in that moment, like, oh, this constellation, which was going so well, is going to run aground again all of a sudden. That's the field information.
This could have just been that I wasn't picking on it, but if I only listened to her interview, I wouldn't have known how strong the bond with Chris was or how important the ancestors were. I would have thought just from the interview, just from that last part of the interview, like, oh, we're working on a relationship thing or something,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, and some of the field information is more subtle. It's just the representative saying, you know, you offer them a sentence and they say, no, I can't say that. Okay, that's information. Or you offer them the sentence, they go, yeah, I can't wait to say that sentence. That's field information. Yeah, that's confirmation, or no, you're on the wrong track, Leslie, that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay.
So what was the moment when you decide to not change, but like
Have people come in?
Chris to go out and then the
Oh.
father to come in?
Ask the question again. I'm sorry.
At some point, you started with
Chris and Anna, yeah.
Chris and Anna, and you said, okay, so for a while we will.
We were looking there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I could just, I will tell you how I experience loss of rapport with a client. And there's lots of ways to experience it, for me to experience it, but a big one is I am becoming aware of I'm doing it all wrong. It's just the sense of I can't do it right. Instead of going down a hole of I'm not doing this right and I'm going to fail the client and they're going to hate me, right? I'm trying to correct, I'm trying to, but it's not coming into place. My moves were not making better rapport with Anna. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. And I think what I was doing was fine, right? And so I'd been reflecting a little bit on Anna's willingness to say, sure, that's fine, to things that maybe she's not actually fine about, to be accommodating. And I said, is it all right if we end up dealing mostly with you and Chris? And she said, sure. And I was sitting here and she had just said, there's this thing over here. And I'm like, oh, maybe focusing on her and Chris is not so much what she wants and what the field wants right now. So I just took it out. I'm trying to go with where the flow wants to go. Trying to find the flow. Trying to work with the yes. But I have to say this is incredibly tricky. This is the art part. Because you also don't want to just do what the client says, because if you do that, you're going to be where you started, right? I mean, very frequently when a client starts giving you feedback about the constellation, it's because they're in resistance to what's unfolding, right? So you can't just do it the way the client wants you to do it, but you also can't not do. It's a balancing act. And as I said, if you're wondering, like, how do I figure this all out? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to try stuff. Blah, blah, blah. But keep at the top rapport with the client. You cannot go more than a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you can feel this isn't working. You just can't. You just can't. You can't just plow through it. And if it requires you to say, could all the representatives sit down? I need to start over. Excuse me? So tell me, what's going on for you? I need to start over. You might have to do that. If you're really not getting rapport back, please don't keep trying to plow through. There's no point. Yeah.
Well, I just think I need always time, like to feel into it. So when you were saying, so is it okay? And when I said the sure, then I was trusting you. So I was thinking, okay, if she gets the feeling this, and I say sure, like, then kind of trust you. But then even the, like this fall in, like this energy there was getting so strong suddenly, and then you felt it, and I felt it, like at the it was just kind of an explanation. Also one thing when I said, okay, do it, I'm good for 1-to-1 or something like that, then it's my curiosity that I think, oh yeah, let's try it out.
Sure.
So because it's not like a feeling that, it's not coming from a feeling that I don't want to say no to it. It's just, it's not, I think, I don't know.
If I pose the question differently, would you prefer to focus on your relationship with Chris or on the ancestral pieces? I know this is not yours, but on the ancestral pieces, I think you very clearly would have said to me, I want to focus on the ancestral pieces.
Yeah, I'm also curious about
but also,
it's kind of like
that's
my
for another
mind
day.
would say, like this, because I never did it. So
and all of that stuff is true, and the basic thing here is we were not in rapport. We just weren't.
Mhm.
And even when we went to ancestral stuff, the rapport improved for a little while, but then it went backwards again. There was very little tolerance for me we just weren't hooking up. And that's when I brought people in. And then you were fine. Then you were fine. Then you trusted me again. But the trust was going in and out, in and out, in and out.
So
in
was
and
it
out.
trust? Oh, that was
Yeah.
interesting, huh?
Yeah. That's what I was
because
feeling.
it didn't feel to me
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I was just,
And that's fine. I mean, this is all, I mean, I'm so glad we had that constellation. So you could see, because you will have a time when you're trying to figure out how to stay in what was conventionally called the therapeutic alliance with your client. Remember the picture of the rapport. Some people you naturally have a lot of overlap with. Some people you naturally have a little. Most you're sort of in the middle. And sometimes you're just going to have to work harder. Not work harder, that's wrong. That's a terrible. You're just going to have to, as one of my teachers put it, you're going to have to ride your rapport pony with more intention. Anyway, I want to let this one go. Serena, you ready to rock and roll, girl? Here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one. And let's get yours. If I can find it. If we can understand anything from it, from Judith, it's wonderful.
Oh my God, my confusion.
I did end up writing down a lot of it as well. So. And as you were doing it, I've constellated for Serena, and some of it was coming back to me. So that was also helpful. Cool. So what I want to try and do, as efficiently as we can without running over anything, figure out what our outcome is. Because when I heard it earlier, there was a lot in what you want. So we need something a little chunked down.
I want to be proud of myself. More often.
More. Yeah, enough. Yeah, right, yeah, more. And in what ways do you experience yourself not being proud of yourself now?
I think I used to think I wasn't good enough. I don't really think that's true now. Now it's more like I have to deal with the history of thinking that for so long to come out of it. Contribution. I want to feel like I'm helping more.
How about this way? Just give me one example. Where's a part of your life, a concrete thing that you would like to feel like you're proud of yourself? In your work life, relational life, your family?
All of them. Yeah. Work life, relational.
Give me an example. Just sometimes it helps to get an example because then you can put you can get some meat on the bones of what they mean by this.
I'm a waitress. I wanted to be a doctor. I'm doing healing kind of things, but I'm not doing it really. Like it's the hiding, like being afraid to be seen, and like I think because I felt really criticized and like I couldn't do it right, and
So I'm writing down a note to myself. You are such a delight in this room and a contribution and such a great presence. And as soon as you start talking about yourself, you disrespect yourself. You move into this kind of, there's funny little body language and words. And I like going, ouch, I wish she were nicer to herself. Yeah. She's so awesome. And that does sound a little bit like what you're saying about that habit.
Yeah.
It's a little habitual.
I'm realizing how much is habitual.
Yeah.
Trauma shit. Yeah. How old are you again? 41.
And, you know, if someone right now had a magic wand to let you move out of waitressing into something else you'd prefer to do, if you had to choose right now, what might it be?
I might need to stop. I think I want to. Oh, we kind of talked about this before. Partly my partnership with my partner.
Okay.
And I'm 41. My
Mhm.
sister just had a baby.
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling like this is my last chance if that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly haven't wanted that, but I think that's because I was pissed at my parents and I didn't want to fuck it up like they did. And so now I'm worried that I've almost run myself out of a chance, which maybe I already have, because I was mad at them and I didn't want to, you know, put anyone else through a shitty life, you know?
So before you go any further on that,
Yeah.
what happened between shifting between those two topics? And we all in the room can hear the overlap between those two things,
Okay, good.
right?
I just
But what
wanna
happened there?
It doesn't feel like enough weight, the job stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't suggest we stay in the job stuff,
Oh, okay.
but I'm just looking at it as an example of this not proud of yourself thing, which feels like the same thing with the kid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably is all the same thing.
Yeah, because it's too late to be a doctor. Is it too late to be a mother? You know, I don't know, what is it?
And then do I even want that?
Exactly.
Because I'm not even sure what I
Exactly.
want.
Is that
Like,
even
is that what mom
necessary?
wanted? Is that what
Yeah,
dad
yeah,
wanted?
yeah.
Who wanted that for me? Did I want that for me? Because my mom would always talk about her grandkids when they were coming.
Mhm.
And then she died. I'm like, well, you're not even here. You don't get, you know, like.
There's so much in this pile. There's so many layers of trauma. It's just really rough stuff. So here's what I would like you to do. Yeah. First of all, feel your, and go as many generations back as you need to for it to feel congruently good. Feel your ancestors behind you. Korean, Palestinian. What else we got?
Something else.
Bunch of other stuff.
European. Something.
Yeah. Just feel them back there. And when you start to cry,
Yeah.
get friendly with that part of yourself that's producing that experience. Put aside the story. What does it want to say?
Like I can't, or it's too late.
Yeah, thank you.
Something like that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's already too late.
Yeah.
I got left behind. What about me?
And as I listen to Serena, I hear both personal trauma, and that doesn't sound like her voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a point where entanglement almost becomes a possession. Yeah. Thank you. Whew, holy for holies. Okay. Just peeking over your shoulder so I can see your story a little bit. Have we dealt with your father's mother? Left behind in the orphanage?
No.
Yeah.
She took care of me when my parents went back to work pretty early, I think.
Okay. Because at some level that matches. I also, when I checked in with your ancestors, well, I was asking you to do that, because we've worked with your Palestinian side. In some ways, it's both your sides have lots of trauma, but there's some way in which the Palestinians take the forefront. Frequently. I felt back there, and I felt your Koreans.
Okay.
Yeah. And it actually went, when I went about 3 or 4 back, it felt really good.
That's good.
Yeah. Like, oh, Korean feels really good. Let's have some kimchi. Let's have some Korean barbecue. Let's connect with your, Korea is a very patriarchal society, except the shamans are the women in the indigenous Korean culture. They're very cool. For us Americans, it's like really crazy stuff, but it's pretty cool. And I see that kind of thing in you. That kind of Korean shaman thing in you. More than, say, a Palestinian healer for some reason. How does it land for you when I just, whatever I just said?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, feel good? Okay. Okay. Would you choose 2 representatives, one for you, one for your dad's mom? And you can set them up in the normal, moving them around kind of way. Okay. Okay. Excellent. And I love how you're grounding yourself and finding your center and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who's
Me.
you?
My grandmother?
Your father's
Father's mother. Okay.
mother. Just so we're clear which one.
Representing my father's mother. Oh.
Let go.
Okay.
Yeah, there was the identification.
Yeah.
Right there. That's why I had her let go. Yeah. And then she's going to feel bad. Yeah. Because when we're that identified, it feels like a loss. Yeah. So look at yourself for a moment. Okay. Yeah. And then can you just do something really, this is very technical. You ready?
Yeah.
Me. Grandmother. Good. And let yourself watch your system for a minute rather than give yourself the relief of being able to be outside for just a little bit. Is Judith grounding for you? In regular person Judith.
I mean, probably.
Judith, would you come over here? And just because I'm going to be working.
Mm-hmm.
And her body is just, and go around the chair, go around this way.
Thank you.
You grab my mom.
And if you need your pillow or whatever, but just stay.
I got you.
And this representative, I'm just going to ask you, could you just move out of the client's space a little bit?
Mhm.
Well enough. Just so she.
So, okay, so yeah,
I know
just
that.
because of the light.
Yeah, feel free to do whatever you need to do to make that work. And yes, close blinds a little bit. That would be great. Thank you. Just her body is she's doing a lot of and I just want to keep her grounded. I just want to. Her neurology is really worked up, and it doesn't serve her neurology to get that worked up. She's got to do her life tomorrow. Yeah. And just something that grounds her. Okay, now we're going to focus on the constellation. Do whatever you got to do.
I just feel like sneaking that way. It's like not, I'm not just walking out. I'm really torn.
Tell us about that.
I want to go. There's like a rubber, so I feel like I have to sneak to go, but even when I do, then it's like a rubber band pulling me back here.
And Serena's representative.
I'm feeling very rooted where I am. Like I can't move because my roots are so strong. And I look at the picture over there and I say, okay, it's my land.
The one of Shagham Pond or the one of the giraffes? Yeah.
One. And it feels like, oh, this is my land.
So you know what Shagham means? It's from the local Mohegan language from Block Island. That's shaman.
Mm-hmm.
That's their shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Their shagams. I do too. I don't know what that's about. But in a good way, like in a remembering something important way.
I feel like I just want to orbit her periphery.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That feels good. I feel like the edge of her, like I'm being some kind of a protective edge.
Feels good over here too.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel to you? Yeah, it's a good movement. How does it feel to you? Or are you even noticing it?
No.
Your tension's over there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm checking out my roots. So I kind of want to make myself a little free of it. Like, but it's just in the middle of my feet. It goes so strong, attached. Because I would like to look at that in a little bit. Because I can't see it very well.
So you're looking at the picture, but you're also, that's sort of standing in for something, or what? Tell me what you mean by that.
I would like to dive into that.
Want to go over there? Can you go over there, or even if you wanted to?
feels I cannot do it by myself.
Yeah. Notice where your grandmother went.
It feels that somebody needs to shuffle my roots out of here
Mhm.
so that I can be free to go there. I also don't understand how she can move so.
Yeah. It's confusing. Yeah. So Dinka, would you stand in front of the picture? Since my picture on the wall can't speak, I need someone to represent it. Just stand in front of it or near it. Or...
In front.
But you are whatever she is looking at there. You are it. You are that place or that person or that event. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
You seem to have, something seems to have settled.
Kind of.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So Dinka, I just want to be really, really clear. You're not that which is looking at that, but you are that. Just so that we just want to hear from whatever it is that Serena's representative is so focused on. What's it like to be where you are? What's going on?
I'm focused there.
So Kelly, don't worry about this. Don't worry about it. Just capture the main action, keep it on here, and then don't worry about it anymore. So I'm sorry, Dinka, say that again.
I'm focused there because there is a lot of room.
Could you just turn around and look at Serena for a second? The Serena. How is that for you, Serena's representative?
It was just when she was not noticing me, then it was just if it just how can I be nothing for that?
Yeah.
And now and then out of that feeling when she turned around, I got really you don't even know who you are, other like to her. I don't know, it just
So like,
you don't know even who you are.
Okay.
And I think it's so important for me. And
how is it for you to look at Serena?
Yeah, I know her.
Can you say, I know you?
I know you.
How are you, grandmother? What's going on for you?
I feel incredibly spacious, like this enormous big space. I don't want to be distracting, but this one would be in constant motion. Just it feels like expanding. I feel very aware of this one as like a center to my orbits.
By the way, there's a funny sort of language thing that people seem to pick up, which is really interesting. When we do blind constellations, which we haven't done much here, but when we do them, you do need to refer to people as this one or that one. But when you know who they are, could you refer to them as they are? Mm-hmm. It actually is a funny, and I've noticed in a lot of the constellations, it's not just this one. People, when you know it's your father and you're saying, I'm reacting to that one, it's got a funny vibe. So you can just say my granddaughter or Serena rather than that one.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm just going to remind people about that because people do get into that little locution around that one. Yeah. So you're aware of your granddaughter?
I'm aware of my granddaughter as the center of my orbit.
Oh, wow. Can you just say you're the center of my orbit?
You are the center of my orbit.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter. I am in constant motion around you.
Oh, and this may be a good thing or a not so good thing. That's really interesting. Or both. How's that for you, Serena, as representative?
Thinking when she was saying that she knows me.
A little bit louder, I'm sorry.
Well, when she was saying that, when she was recognizing me or saying that I'm important for her, then I said, oh, that's nice. But then when I look at her, I kind of want to slap her.
You want to slap that one?
Mm-hmm.
Because?
Because she's she doesn't care. I feel that she doesn't care enough.
Yeah, I feel that too. I feel that I don't care. What do you want from me?
And it feels not that she doesn't care enough for me, than that she doesn't care enough on that.
It's very interesting because my intention was that one was to represent that, and it just won't. I think it's showing up as something different. We still don't have a representative for what's on the wall.
But as more she's doing that, I'm losing my roots.
You're losing
my roots. And I feel I can.
I feel like I don't know what my role is.
Yeah. Would you stand in for the picture, please, for whatever it represents, and just really intentionally say, I am representing what's in the picture.
I am representing what's in the picture.
Just so we're very clear about that. Excuse me.
I don't like that.
What, the blocking?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Students Representative, what's going on for you?
Yeah, I'm feeling I'm getting ready to work.
Work, what do you mean by that?
It's kind of like we can work together.
Are you speaking to the one by the wall?
Mm-hmm. It's making me sad. She's not coming here.
I feel a little agitated. I'm not in favor of this.
So for now, I'm just going to continue to let this unfold a little bit. I don't quite have the entanglement yet. So I can't quite do an intervention yet. I'm still figuring it out.
You want to know what I thought? Or no?
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. You think it's her? No, 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 no. We're up this line. No, 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 no. Oh, thank you, though.
Yeah.
Watch out for the cord you're about to hit. How does it feel to see that?
It's nice.
It is
I'm
nice.
glad she.
How are you?
I had this feeling before that neither one of Serena or her grandma is complete without the other. They were like same thing to me.
Oh.
Now I'm confused again.
Now you what?
Confused again.
That's what I just.
That
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he's the nature lover. Yeah, he took me skiing.
But that's also a classic, seeing your parent and your child and identifying them.
Say again, classic scene.
Seeing your parent and looking at your child and seeing your parent. And that's just pretty common thing to do. And that's basically what he just said. They're the same, or how did you put it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They complete each other.
They complete each other, yeah.
But I kind of want to just watch it as a movie,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
participate.
Yeah. So Grandma, how are you doing, please?
I lost my center.
Yeah.
feels like just still constant motion, but just random.
Will you be bereft if you lose
No,
Judith?
I'm better. I'll have this.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Wanna try to, yeah,
This
unfold
takes a
yourself?
second.
Yeah. So come on over here for a second. Anybody what you are, just face each other. And maybe you step into it first. And just see what happens. Nope, I'm taking you back out. You're fine, stay where you are. Sorry, I meant that one. Just, yeah, just, yeah. You're Judith. Okay, Judith.
I'm Judith. I'm Judith.
New one. Okay, thank you. I chose the wrong one first.
I like the other one better.
So stay over there. Because that's the excluded one. That's your grandmother's mother. This is the one we always skip over.
You're right.
We say, oh, she's a European, good blood. We don't know. No. In an orphanage with the daughter.
Super uncomfortable.
Great grandmother, how are you looking at your daughter who you bore and probably barely met?
Do you want to sit down for a minute?
Dispassionate
Or would you rather stay standing?
dispassionate interest.
Okay.
I like looking.
I feel super mad.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit like, what's she so angry about?
This is your energy. This is what you're trying to manage, this pacing.
Wrap it out to your hand.
Okay. If you guys need to sit on a couple of chairs, just make it not that, like,
Yeah.
come in a little bit, just so you're not in the observer position. Bring the chair in a little bit
I was
or
gonna
out
sit on the
there.
floor
Floor's good,
I can
any
sit
of
on
that
the
stuff
floor.
is fine.
and just hold your hand. Or is that too far from you? Yeah.
No, I'm wanting to turn away, but she's just
It's fine.
bothering me.
Sometimes as the facilitator, I just bring a little bit of calmness and support. I don't represent anything in particular.
That pacing is like numbing.
That what is what?
The pacing is numbing. It takes
Yeah,
me out of it.
It's self-soothing. Self-soothing behavior. It's those little movements, yeah. I'll stay with you as you do it.
No. I'm not saying well, I'm just saying no.
Sit on the ground. Cross the These are not your- What happens when she sits down for you, great grandmother?
It's much easier for me to look. I don't feel like I'm being accused of being a murderer. It's just going to take me a while to allow the knowledge to get to my heart. Because of, yeah.
So that is not your father? It's her father. That's this distant, numbing thing.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I'd like to come closer.
No. This is your dad, that's your mom. Yeah, because it's the one you knew.
Right, okay.
You can, But you two look at each other. And we'll give her a break. So your guess about this relationship is what? A one-night stand, a brief affair,
I mean, they could
no
have.
nothing?
They could have. I mean, I
Say a
don't
little
know.
louder, I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I know he worked in a house,
Okay.
and so we
Could have
don't.
been the
She
family's.
could have been another servant. Could have been one of the daughters. Could have been someone around. Yeah, we don't know yet.
So she gets pregnant, and somehow it is decided this child is immediately going to go into an Asian orphanage, a Korean or Asian orphanage.
It might be Korean. I'm not
Yeah.
certain.
Which
I wanna
says
say
to me
Korean.
that somehow he retained control, somehow,
Mhm.
rather than some other solution, right?
Say that again. He retained control.
In the sense of, and he was able to come back 12 years later and take her, to Korea and whatnot. He's remaining, somehow he gets, custody is too strong a word, but she's out of the picture immediately.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like she was disowned. I kind of think it was probably one of the daughters of the house, because how else would he have the finances to get her to San Francisco? You know.
It's just the two of you look at each other. You produced a life. And you just see your parents seeing each other.
I had such a crush on you, but it seems like you hate me now.
Yeah, I had the feeling you used me.
Maybe I did. My parents were suffocating me.
I wanted to be serious, but you didn't want to be serious with me.
They would never have allowed it.
Louder so everyone can
They
hear.
would never have allowed it. We would have been hounded forever.
You let us know if you're not hearing anything, okay?
I'm not strong enough for that.
Yeah, you didn't believe me. You will be safe with me.
I needed to listen to my mother.
Say that again?
I needed to listen to my mother. I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
I was really scared. I couldn't trust you or how I felt about you. I just needed it to go away. I needed my daughter. I needed our daughter to go away.
She would never have been safe with me.
She would never have been safe with me.
She never would have been accepted by my
She
family.
never would have been accepted by my family.
But you and your people would accept her a little bit.
But you and your people would accept her.
A little
little
bit.
bit.
We still hear that she suffered in that orphanage for being biracial. Yeah? The racism works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm angry at you for not accepting her.
Mm-hmm. I honor your anger. I've been angry with myself.
and yet I did not keep her either.
Mm.
I was angry at you for leaving us, and yet I didn't keep her either.
We both bear the weight.
We both bear the weight.
Okay, he finally comes into his strength, finally.
It was very, very, very hard for both of us. It was so hard for our daughter. I honor the dignity of your fate.
Slow down just a little bit, my friends.
Okay.
One of you, whoever feels the most, we broke all of our people's rules.
We broke all of our people's rules.
Mine and yours.
Mine and yours.
We produced life.
And we produced life. And I did love you.
Whom no one would love.
We both produced life whom no one would love.
Not my people, not your people.
Not my people. Not your people.
How is this for you? Yeah. How are you doing, great-grandfather? There was a little bit of an agreement that this one was all at fault, and I can't let a constellation quite do that. Right?
It
So how are you
doesn't
doing?
land for me.
What?
It doesn't, I don't think that my people wouldn't accept us, so her and daughter.
So you're wrong about that.
I wanted to build them. I wanted to
Yeah.
bring them to my people.
Yeah.
So to me, this what she said sounds like an excuse.
Yeah. So just say the sentence. Yeah. Papa, our people did not accept me fully.
Papa, our people did not accept me fully.
You're wrong about that.
You're wrong about that.
It's a nice idea, but it's not correct.
It's a nice idea. I know you wanted it. It's not correct.
I still think it was worth it.
With what?
To try to be accepted, to have you,
Yeah.
and to try to be accepted.
So, because I blamed you,
Because I blamed you.
I put my daughter in an orphanage and did not keep her with me.
I put our daughter in orphanage. So,
And did not keep
and
her
did
with
not
me.
keep her with me. Because I was mad at you.
We need you to have some dignity of taking some responsibility here. Yeah. And we do understand, given the circumstances, this one probably had, I mean, it's funny, like, this one's got probably more privilege than this one, but she's a woman and he's a man, so we don't know how young she is, right? So if we're deep in intersectionality here, right? Different layers of privilege and oppression, right? Yeah. And if they fell in love tomorrow, there'd be a place for this child. But in their day, so I need to find this one out. This is so important. Was this child born in love? Even if for a moment. Conceived in love.
Our child was conceived.
There you go. This is the only thing that
Our
really
child
matters.
was conceived in love.
That's the only thing that really
And we were
matters.
not allowed to have that love. I was not allowed to love you or love my daughter.
And it made me a coward.
It made me a coward.
Made me hate myself.
Yeah. So this no way out thing, imagine this one at 6 months pregnant.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so
No
furious.
No, no. Can you say, our daughter was conceived in love?
Our daughter was conceived in love.
What happened later made me angry. What happened later made me
What
angry.
happened later made me angry.
And I blamed you.
And I blamed you.
But she was conceived in love.
But she was conceived in love.
Okay. Okay. Can you look at your daughter together?
I feel like I don't deserve to look at her.
There we go. There's the entanglement. Yeah. And she was orbiting around you. It's a meaning. It's not literally, she's not out there orbiting around you. A meaning of orbiting around you when she's supposed to be orbiting around her mother. We orbit around our parents. How is it for you to hear your parents say this and then look at you?
Knowing I was conceived in love settled me down.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
That was really all I cared about in that whole thing.
You already
Exactly. Like this whole part here, I'm kind of like, I heard what I needed.
I was conceived in love.
I was conceived in love.
Say it with a question mark so they can answer yes. Conceived in love.
I was conceived in love.
Yes, you were conceived in love.
Oh, did you say it again?
Yes, you were conceived in love.
Yes.
In deep love.
I love this man. Yeah. Would you scooch over there and be with your parents?
It's okay.
How are you doing, Serena's representative? It's good to see. Yeah. I think what you've got there is Korea.
I like you.
And all of its juiciness, I mean, all the Koreanness of Korea. So the mystical tradition, the folk ways, the heart.
Felt really good that I could go backwards without. I was just trusting.
Yeah.
That
So
would be
literally why don't you
good.
sit
Stand
there? She's in a chair, so she can actually support you. Is that okay?
And when I was back there, the sentence that I got the whole time.
I didn't hear that.
Show me how to cook.
Oh, yeah. Sing your songs, dance your dances. Yeah. Yeah. Show me, because you're trying to be a healer. No? Show me your healing ways. Yeah, the way my people heal. Yeah. How you doing, Grandma?
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good here. Yeah, I'm not mad at her anymore. I just feel kind of settled down.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to move all the time.
Yeah. Look what you were trying to orbit. This is your granddaughter. Notice she's your granddaughter. Say, I have my mother and father now.
I have my mother and father now.
I was conceived in love.
I was conceived in love. I still love her a lot, but she's okay over there.
Yeah. Now here's the deal. There's always a chance under any circumstances of being entangled in this, right? Because it's a pretty powerful thing. But you've got like a double thing because you're also biracial, Korean and Palestinian. So it gets repeated in you. And I know there's other stuff up there as well, but those are the main identities that are coming together in you, and which is not like, it doesn't happen a lot of Koreans and Palestinians getting together, right? Yeah? So can you just look at your grandmother and notice that you have some similarities with her? You know what it's like. Now the good news is that when Serena was born, it was still hard, but not that hard. Yeah. Not sent off to an orphanage and never knowing your mother hard, right? And if you chose, your partner's Jewish, right?
Yeah.
So if you had a child, you'd be doing it again, and it would be even safer, right? For the next one, still complex. We're not going to like diminish that it would be, no, but nothing like this, right? Now, from a certain angle, we could look at these two people and say it would have been better if they hadn't, fallen into temptation. Maybe can you just say that's what my parents said?
That's what my parents said.
Yeah, no?
Yeah.
But we can't regret it.
That's what my parents said, but we can't regret it.
Yeah.
And
We can't regret the foolishness of love
Hmm.
and the stupid things it makes us do. Like make sure there's a Serena in the world. So would you two see your great-granddaughter, who's only here because you guys were foolish and broke the rules and got in a lot of trouble? Can you look at each other and say, thank God we did that?
Thank God we did that.
You say pissing off your parents was the best part.
Pissing off my parents was almost the best part.
And just look at your great-grandparents and say, thank you for being foolish great-grandparents.
Thank you for being foolish great-grandparents.
Thank you for my grandma.
Thank you for my grandma.
How is your body doing? So my question is your body naturally, without having to work it too hard, moving from secondary to primary emotions, now that you can kind of distinguish between those two? Because this is all very sad and deserving of tears, but is it feeling like it's strengthening you? Or do you feel like you're still a little bit in the spin? How's that going?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does feel like.
Yeah. So that's, yeah, I'm glad you got the pillow. The pillow's good. Yeah. So the sort of it's not just Korea really, but it's like the whole Korean culture, the Koreanness is over here. Yeah. Would you leave Serena for 1 minute and do something really important and become or express the part of you that is a Korean priestess, indigenous priestess? And would you go over and bless the couple? The thing that never could happen, that they were never going to go to a church or whatever. Right? And Serena's representative, you get to watch this happen. I think we would need like drums and tambourines. And start off by blessing the couple in that formal way that one does in union. Yeah? Marriage ceremonies are universal. pretty much.
You started something in love. Your love was real. And
Well,
it
yeah.
does not.
Find their hands together. That's done in a lot of cultures. Let you sit over here so you can see this.
You did. You were serving life.
Yeah.
You were serving life and your love. And you started a new line.
Yeah.
It was hard, but it was meant to be.
Well, take that off.
I'm sorry.
We don't do that stuff here. No meant to be thing.
Okay.
It's enough. It's good enough. Yeah. Just say, you are united.
You're united.
That's it. That's all you gotta say. And then some version of just squat down and look at grandma. No? And in some blessing way, just all I want you to say is, welcome, little one.
Welcome, little one.
You are blessed.
You are blessed.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Sprinkle a little oil on the head, yeah. Greeting ceremonies are also universal, whether it's a baptism or what the different things, circumcisions, different kinds of things. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, come back here. Back with Serena.
You're welcome to say that. It feels good.
So how is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be unbelievable, except it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing over there? Yeah.
Pretty good.
So we're going to do one last movement here. We're going to set this up in the classic fashion. Okay. So would everyone rise? And then all of you basically come in between Sophia's and go back. I mean, necessarily back of the room. It doesn't matter which way you face, but since you've started this way, you this way. You two here. Next to each other. No. No. Can you switch positions? There we go. There we go. Dear granddaughter,
Dear granddaughter,
I don't orbit you.
I don't orbit you.
I'm not in you.
I'm not in you.
I'm behind you.
I'm behind you.
Always.
Always.
How are you?
Really grateful.
Would you like to feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll take each other's hands. Thank you for the honor. I leave it with you.
Thank you for the honor. I leave it with you.
Yeah, you can look for a moment. And anyone you want to hug, just put your arms underneath your grandma's. Yeah, there you go.
Because she's little and grandma's big.
I mean, the way we want to think of it is this younger one kind of reaching up with an embrace like this. Given the bodies, that's sometimes difficult, but at the very least. Can Grandma, you don't have to move. Just say, I have my parents.
I have my parents.
Especially my mother.
Especially my mama. I have my mama.
Your grandma, your great grandma.
My great grandmother.
Yeah. And she really was, I mean, she was the excluded one in the system. She was the one without a story, and we still don't know her story.
No.
No. But she's here. We know she exists. Yeah. And then can you look at the Korean culture in the back and just say, I have some things I want to figure out around my work.
I have some things I want to figure out.
I really need your help.
I really need your help.
Please bless me.
Please bless me.
I bless you.
Grandma, can you say, although my parents come from different cultures,
Although my parents come from different cultures,
I am one whole person.
I am one whole person.
Just like you.
Just
You
like
are
you.
one whole person.
You're one whole person. Just like you.
I'm one whole person.
One whole person.
My parents come from different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you might just remember, to the degree that you remember, I know we did a constellation where we really, the union of the Palestinian and Korean halves. And just feel your heart like, I'm one whole person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're one whole person. And in fact, I don't want to put too much weight on this, it's a little bit dangerous, but if we could love more across difference, the world would be a way better place. So look at your family not as a vision of division and loss, but as for the hope of the world and who you are. That people have the audacity to love across distance and the things they let it cost them, because damn it, that's what us humans are supposed to do. And it's the homogenization that's actually the distortion. Right? So just look at your family and go, as the French say, vive la différence. Yeah? Hubba, difference.
We all dare to love.
Yeah. Say, it was difficult for my parents,
It was difficult for my parents,
but I am in awe of their courage
but I am in awe of their courage
and their bravery to love
and their bravery to love
across difference.
across differences.
Yeah. Yeah. And it costs them, but we leave that cost with them.
And it did cost them, but we leave that cost with them.
So say, dear great-grandmother and dear great-grandfather.
This is me.
That's right, yeah.
Dear great grandmother and great grandfather,
I see what it cost you,
I see what it cost you,
and I leave it with you,
and I leave it with you
with love and respect.
with love and respect.
Thank you for my life.
Thank you for my life.
You have given me the gift of being able to bind together the opposites. You have given me the gift
You
Yeah.
have given me the gift
of being able to bind together the opposites.
of being able to bind together.
Rats. Yeah.
It's weird.
I leave the burden with you.
Okay, yeah. The burden with you.
Now turn around. Enough looking at them. The nice thing about this is we can always peek over our shoulder at them. It's not like you can never look at them, right? Right? I mean, Grace was showing us those great pictures this morning. We can still gaze at them and remember them and reference them. It's not our main direction, however. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
But we remember them. We reference them. We learn from them. Every Day of the Dead, we go to the cemeteries and have picnics with them. Yeah, whatever it is that we do. So just feel their energy coming through you. So I'm going to do something a little unusual here, but I'm feeling really called to it. If you were 23, I wouldn't do this, but you're 41. You don't have forever. 41 is when we start asking these, it's a midlife crisis. It's when we ask these questions, right? You're called to a healing vocation and it's time. It's time.
That's why I'm here.
You just feel it. Feel us all saying, we believe you. Yeah? And feel, you can't do it on your own, only through this support. Take that in. Your vocation is part of your dignity. Yeah? And it will drive you crazy the rest of your days if you don't do it. It will drive you nuts if you don't do it. It's like if Judah didn't do music, it would drive her crazy. It would make her bonkers. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, literally, like she'd probably become dangerous to people. And that's how kind of bonkers. Yeah. Your healing vocation.
I don't know if that's all. I don't know if that's it completely. I might need to
I'm sure
be.
there's more.
something
There's
else.
always more. But the thing that you're called, that you've wanted to be a doctor. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I just want to help people feel better.
In other words, a healer.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that doesn't mean you have to do something that's labeled healer, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm
Right. Yeah.
doing more artisty lately.
Yeah. Hard. Yeah. Right. But whatever it is. We're often giving people a lot of space in these things. But there's also a place for a little bit of like, now. Yeah. Yeah. So.
I'm in the business class.
Yeah, exactly. So just feel these ones behind you. You've got everything you need. There's more healing ahead of you. This doesn't mean it's all fixed or anything like that. Yeah. And then there's 5 people in this constellation right now, so you're gonna have to coordinate this a little bit. But starting from behind, the furthest one back, we're all gonna take in a sort of almost like the caboose pushing forward the train, one step forward. Oh, you did more than that.
Sure do.
Yeah. That's not inner driven, it's driven from behind. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So do it one more time. And she's got a chair in front of her, so you have to stop.
I'm not.
Well,
It's momentum, get it going.
Yeah. So bookmark how that felt in your body.
I don't have to do it all myself. I don't have to
Exactly. Let your body recognize that feeling. Don't worry about your mind getting it. Let your body get it. Last time, one more time. Let your body get it. That's what happens. It's liftoff, right? And I'm actually going to stop it there so that we don't let it diminish. We're going to stop at the peak of the feeling. Everyone step out of the rules. Oh, everyone does a big sigh. Regather the circle, all those who are going to come back here. Do our little ritual. Start on this side.
My name is Judith, and I was representing your great grandmother.
Thank you.
My name is Dinka, and I represented your great grandfather.
My name is Anna, and I represented you.
Thank you.
I'm Grace, and I represented your grandmother.
Thank you.
I'm Kelly, and I represented Korea, the essence of Korea, or Korea.
There's several Korean barbecues up there. If you're thinking
Holiday.
like Ogani is just right. Ogani is just over there. Oh. Yeah. You and your tissues.
Oh, nicely done.
We did not have an afternoon break, right? Right. So please be back by 5:10.
I don't
And
want to
we'll-
go.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I do suggest you move your body a little bit.